coming, everyone. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you remain comfortable.
We've decided, sadly, that is
That's wrong. That's wrong. We already, yeah, that's a lie.
If you look up there,
it's white, and that is yellow.
Oh, we should never put it up on the stage, on the screen, should we? Now everyone realises. But you know, it's
a parasol.
It's a thing.
Never mind.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tweet that.
Never
Don't
mind.
tweet that. Now, Helena, you were 19 when the film was released.
Yeah.
That's
it's
rather
30
young.
years old, this film. 30 years old. I wish I could say I was the same. But no, it'll be very interesting to see, because now I can look at the audience, how it's going to fare with a young audience, and see if it, you know, if it actually if it dates well.
Of course
aged
it
well.
does. I mean, I watched it for about the 13th time last night, and I can
Oh,
tell you
13th?
very, very definitely that it hasn't aged at all. Now, you were 19. Can you tell us a little bit about what that felt like? Where were you in your life? How did it happen?
Well, I really didn't know what I was doing. I think I was very confused, which in a way, I think probably helped Lucy. Because, I mean, me playing Lucy, because I think Lucy's very muddled and confused, and I think possibly my own confusion sort of fed into it. So I really didn't know what I was doing. But luckily I was so surrounded by so much talent that I don't think it really mattered. I think I just hoped that no one would notice me. But looking back on it now, thank God I did do the film, because thank God it was a hit. It was a very unlikely hit. No one expected it to be a hit. It made a huge amount of money, which was really a first for that kind of film, that sort of small art house film. And I don't think I'd really have a career if it hadn't been for this thing. So.
Well, there's some power in confusion, because you were cast twice more by the same filmmaking team in E.M. Forster films.
I think I got less confused as I get older, in a less obvious way, maybe. But no. I think I owe this. I mean, not only do I owe probably my career to this film, but the best thing about it is that I was introduced to Merchant Ivory. And by Merchant Ivory, I mean not just Merchant and Ivory, Ismail Merchant, but James Ivory, but also Richard Robbins, Ruth Proud-Javala. That quartet of people were so extraordinary, not only in their talent and their ability to make things out of no money, but and all their vision and out their passion, but also just as humans, and they adopted me. And I remember they always called me the Little Thing, which I think they borrowed that name from Cecil Vyse, at some point he calls me Little Thing, and I ended up being the Little Thing. And that stood me in such great stead. And Forster, I think the famous message is only connect. And I had the luck to connect with them, and absolutely no doubt I would not be standing here without them.
Now, they've been making films since the early 60s, but it was the second film that they were working with you, John. It seems like a very natural marriage of talents. How did that come about? You worked with them then on many films afterwards.
Yes. On the Bostonians, I was there just to help Jenny, really. And then she said, "Oh, you've done half the work, you get half the credit." And so...
Half the pay?
No, none of the pay. And then for Room with a View, it was assumed that I would just do it with her. And from then on, we just a partnership, until in the end I was left doing them for the last two by myself.
And you were out in Italy during the filming,
yes,
particularly of those very memorable scenes. Do you remember that shoot well?
Yes.
I know that Helena was wearing a rather extreme Edwardian corset, which you had.
Well, it was extreme because it was the first one I'd worn. Well, yeah. No, it was my first. I mean, I've worn lots since, but I think it was the first time I really. I mean, I'd done one film before this, which was Lady Jane. So I'd done an Elizabethan corset, and then I was put in the Edwardian corset, which is completely different and does all sorts of other deformations of your body. And I just was like, because I was so polite then and confused. I just said, yep, no, pull on. You know, I didn't know to tell them when it was too uncomfortable. So I was in extreme state of discomfort for most of the film. That's why I'm scowling most of the time. And I was also incredibly hot because they wore so much stuff. But yeah.
But this film did sort of change the fortunes of costume drama, really, didn't it?
Yes. It was like the beginning of a form of costume drama, wasn't it? And then there was a rebellion about 5 years later, and they said, "Oh, don't make it look like a Merchant Ivory film, please."
I know, it became actually, Merchant Ivory ended up being a kind of insult,
yes.
Sadly. And I hope, time will redeem that. Because they really did do something for...
Extraordinary.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And it was funny that none of them were British.
Yes.
But it took the Brits to slam something that was actually part of our culture. I mean, they made money and they made it commercial. They made it okay to make. Made it actually a viable and a tremendous and exciting and commercial thing to make art, to make films out of our literature.
Now, there's one question I have to ask you. For those who've not seen the film before, you may want to cover your ears, but there's a couple of the most wonderful kissing scenes. We're celebrating the on-screen kiss in our blockbuster season, and those scenes with Julie and Sam, going in with the hand and do you remember those? How did you?
No. The thing is with this, I think in the book and in the script, it was very specifically described the kisses. There are two kisses. There's one out on a window, the view, that I get at the end when I go back. I shouldn't spoil it. And then there's the other one, which is in the field, and I remember it being filmed very, very quickly. It was suddenly like the sun was going down, and suddenly it was like, quick, it's about to rain as usual, but it was in Florence. And I was just like, quick, get in the field, right, I don't care, just go stand there and he's gonna come kiss you. And then Maggie was hauled out of her trailer and I had to watch, and the whole thing was complete chaos. But somehow it ended up in the film, but it was shot in 10 minutes, no rehearsal, nothing, just do it. And it was just like, okay, and actually probably that was the best way of doing it. Then the second one, which is the end of the film, which I'm about to destroy, that is a happy ending, but never mind, was I'm literally perched on a wooden frame with about an 80-foot drop into the Arno. Do you remember that? It was a fake view. I mean, the view wasn't fake, it was actually in Florence, but the actual window was real. But it was perilous. Julian
perilous kiss. Well, that seems like an appropriate way to end, and before I reveal more details of the plot to begin the film. Thank you so much. We will look forward to seeing you, Helena, later on this year in Suffragette, which opens the London Film Festival. With an amazing cast, so tickets don't get on sale, but they'll be announced at the beginning of September. Join and become a BFI member so you get priority booking. We're looking forward to that one very much, and we've got a few. I believe your costume will be on exhibition at BFI South Bank, so do come to see more as part of the season. Will you join me? The real one, it will be the real one, won't it? Yeah, okay. Will you just join me in thanking so much Helena Bonham Carter and costume designer John Blank? Enjoy the film and feel the love.